Hello and welcome to Chapter 11, Manage Network Security. Roll the intro, like and subscribe in the comments, it really helps. And that's quite enough. Okay, cool. So I'm going to discuss here two things: how to make basic firewall rules and how to manage SeLinux network or port labeling. Okay, so let's start with something we already know. You have seen me use this before in previous chapters, which is how to create basic firewall rules. Okay, so let's get. I'm on Rocky 2, but this works on any Linux actually. So, okay, cool. Again, I cannot type a simple password because that's how I am. Now, I have here in the background the site we have configured a few chapters back, just to show that actually it's actually working. We did this on the SeLinux chapter, so go and check it out to see how this actually came into play. And let me just show you how you can do simple firewall rules. So nowadays we use one of three possible tools. You have firewall-cmd. Okay, you have firewall-cmd. You have the cockpit. If you haven't seen me set up cockpit, go and check it out, the RH134 course. And you can sometimes also install the text user interface version. Here we're going to use the CMD for some simple firewall rules. That's all you need to know for now. So let's first of all list the current firewall rules. So firewall CMD -- list all zones. Okay, this is how I do it. So what are zones in firewall? These zones are a bunch of rules. Okay, zones are a bunch of rules grouped together. So you create zones, and those zones have a bunch of rules grouped together. That's as simple as that. Then you can get those zones and associate them to interface. Okay. Of course, there's more than that. Stop wiggling your chair and typing hate comments on a comment section. This is just a simple explanation. What zones are just groups of firewall rules, like things that you allow, things that you deny, grouped together, and those groups can then be associated to a specific interface or interfaces. You can set a zone for NAT, for example. All right, so calm yourself. So these are all the rules that exist, and these exist at this point. So these are all the rules that can be considered the default ones. Okay, which are the ones that come with the default installation of the firewall CMD thingy-majiggy. All right. So these are all the firewall rules that we have by default. So I have not created any other rules. And let's focus this one because the default, it's kind of the default. So when you create new rules, they are placed here unless you specify something different. And as you can see here, I have enabled a few rules: cockpit, DHCP. Some were already there, some I have added. I added this one on the SeLinux chapter. I added this one, and this one when you discuss the network attached storage course chapter. So go and check those out so you can learn why I use them and why were they useful. Okay, and of course, like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps. Okay, cool. Now, let's start by this. Where do these names come from? Well, these are called service profiles, and you can get them by going to etc. No, sorry, not etc. USR lib. I forget. Let's find out. Firewall these services. Well, I did not forget. I actually know. Cool. So these are XML files. So if I check the HTTP protocol, so these are XML files you can actually customize, create new ones with the command line. I'm going to show you how, or through the cockpit. So you can just create simple profiles. So when you add a port, you don't need to know the port number exactly. You just add a profile with its name, and it's kind of a simple way to enable more common rules in your network, which is quite nice if you ask me. So how do I create custom ones? Well, this is my process. So I will not touch this. I will copy any file. I'm going to use this one because it's the one I usually use, and I'm going to use it like a template and copy to etc firewall D. I cannot type. Firewall D services, and I will put it there. Why not add it here? because this folder may be updated on, let's say you update the firewall-d package. Okay, you update a firewall-d package either directly, either through some other bigger update. This folder may be overwritten by the update. This one is kept safe. So any custom stuff, you should put it there because you have a greater chance of survival. Then I will rename it. Let's call it custom.xml. Okay. Then I just need to edit. You get the idea. Okay, I don't have VIM installed here, which is fine. Okay, so I'm going to, this is fine. Service, let's call it cust. Okay, then I would just delete this and put something, well, more yeah, there are easier ways and faster ways to delete all of this. Calm yourself, okay, calm yourself. So custom service, it's not that serious. Then I just add the port. So I'm going to put, I'm going just to make this up a little bit. 81, for example. Let's 82. I'm not going to use this rule. Well, I can. It's not harmful. I can put here UDP. I mean, it's fine. You get the drift. Now I just save and quit. If I want to add this service, I will do firewall-cmd -- reload. This is going to refresh everything, including the new rules, the new service. Then I can just edit firewall-cmd -- add service. And now I can actually use the tab custom and permanent. I can, just so you guys to see, I can edit to the zone. DMZ, for example. So it doesn't go to the default one. Then I just go firewall cmd -- reload. And I can just go back and list it like I did in the first command here. Now if you want to be a little bit less confusing, you can grep for DMZ. Okay, but you can do the after 15. So this is going to print the DMZ zone and the following 15 lines or less. Okay, or less. As you can see on the DMZ, let me put the comment back here. So I said add service to my custom one on the zone DMZ and make it permanent. And I just did it and I did the reload and it's there. If you want to add a port, well, you can do add port. Let's say add port, let's say, I don't know, 100/TCP or UDP. Then reload, then you list. There you go. Ports are there, custom is there. See, not big of a deal, very doable, very straightforward. Well, if you come from the IP tables era, in a way, you may feel a little bit out of your league, out of your element, because we were so used to use the IP tables thingamajiggies that may cause that type of discomfort. But it's all okay. Take your time and get used to it. And you can also use Cockpit if you feel in a pinch to get things done if you are kind of forgetful or something like that. So yeah, you can just use Cockpit for that and make your life a little bit easier. There's no shame in that. So use Cockpit because it's there for a reason. All right, cool. That's very simple firewall rules. You can enable NAT. You can specify source IPs, destination IPs, source networking, source networks, destination networks, all of that good stuff. Just use and abuse the tab key, and I'm sure, or go to the Cockpit in a pinch, and you are fine. Next one for chapter 11, it's SeLinux Port Labeling. So what is port labeling? Well, as you know, as you remember, because I have covered that on the SeLinux chapter. Go and check it out if you haven't. There are several things where SeLinux it's in charge. File labeling, port labeling, and port labeling, it's kind of a bind between the process and its network port. Okay, so if you if a service that has a specific talk context, HTTPD, for example, does not have the correct port labeling, he will not be able to explore that network port in a way. So I will show you that in a second. I'm going to put, I'll try. I'm going to put the HTTP service on a non-standard port, TCP port, and even though it's allowed on the firewall, okay, SeLinux will not allow it to function because the binary of the process cannot attach to that port because SeLinux does not allow it. So it's not a matter of the firewall allowing or not that port. It's a matter of the kernel allowing that binary to attach itself to a specific port, which is even more aggressive. So in a way, this supersedes the firewall rules. It may happen you have a firewall rule saying yes for that specific port, but the server does not work, even though the firewall rule allows it, because SeLinux did not allow that specific service to bind itself to a specific port number. So, for example, in this case, I'm going to change HTTPs to bind himself on a non-allowed port, and it will fail. I will disable the firewall, and you see that it failed the same because it's on the kernel level and not at the firewall level. I know the firewall is also on the kernel level. I know, calm yourself, but it's at different stages. So even though the firewall says yes, if SeLinux says no, it's a no. That's the bottom line. So firewall say, for example, port 100, just an example. So if the firewall says port 100, it's okay, but SeLinux says this process cannot bind itself to port 100, it's not okay. The firewall allows it, SeLinux does not, SeLinux supersedes. Okay? Cool. Easy enough. So let's get this. So it's clear enough that port 80 is working right, because it's the default one. Makes sense. So let me change the HTTP service to work on a different port. Let me try and think. Let's try. Is port 85 okay? I forget. So let's check. The file called etc services. So this file lists kind of the stay away network ports. So I don't want to use a port that may be used by other services, so I don't get myself into troubles down the line. So let's say port 89. Okay, 89 seems to be safe. I will not get myself into troubles with other services. 89. So I'm going to go to ttpd conf htd.conf, and I'm going to find the listen. It's there. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy paste, and I'm going to 89. Now I'm going to restart the service. Restart HTTPD. It will fail, hopefully. Yeah, it failed. Now, if you check the logs, which we will, you will see, well, I don't have everything installed. So, but you see here, you cannot see the full message because it's kind of too big, but it's basically saying that SeLinux is preventing blah, blah, blah to bind itself, okay? And even suggests the solution, but we'll get the solution in a second. So let's see if we can check it out here. See, SeLinux is preventing the HTTP service to bind itself to the port 89, okay? So basically, I want, but let's say you want this to work, okay? This is not working because the HTTPD binary service is not allowed by SeLinux to attach itself to port 89. I will create a rule saying yes. So I'm going to add port 89 TCP to the default zone, because I know I will need it in the down the line. Reload. Fine, it's there. Let's confirm, because I know some of you guys are really suspicious. Let's go to public. And as you can see here, port 189 was actually added. It's fine, but the service still will not restart. Okay, and obviously, if it's not restarted successfully, then I cannot access it. Okay, Why? Because SeLinux is not allowing the process to bind to the port. So this says yes, SeLinux says no, it's no. There are different stages on the kernel, all right? Okay, cool. Let's fix this. So semanage port minus L, this is going to list the ports. And I'm going to grep for HTTPD. Sorry, HTTP, not the protocol itself. Cool. Now, as you can see, port 89, it's not here. So we need to add port 89 to the list. So to help you out, let me show you this. semanage. Let's go to the bottom, and let's find the subpage for that. Or is it Boolean? Don't doubt it. semanage export, fcontext, import, interface, login, module. They don't have it here. Okay, that's nice. They used to have here a subpage for the ports. Oh well. Oh well. Port maybe? Oh, we got lucky. Good. It was there. Was it there and I'm just blind? No, it's not here on the subpages. It used to be. Oh, it's there. Yeah, I'm blind. All right. If you go here, you can go to the examples and you actually see a good example on how to overcome this. Bam. Just need to add your port. Double check. Restart the service. Now it's okay. And we can actually use port 89 to check our website. See? So if SeLinux says no, it's no. Okay? So you have two entities working for our own benefits, which is a firewall and SeLinux. So don't just focus yourself on the firewall, because sometimes SeLinux is also doing its thing. They're just trying to protect us. They mean no harm. So just make sure that everybody is on the same page. Well, that was Chapter 11, Management for Security, all about simple firewall rules and simple port labeling about SeLinux. We are quickly reaching the end. We have 2 chapters on RH134 to cover. Install Red Hat Enterprise Linux and containers. Thanks for sticking with me throughout this adventure. I'm enjoying this a lot. I'm enjoying the comments. Like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps. And I'll see you in the next one. Good luck. Cheers, guys.